Hi everyone. In today's Kotlin tutorial, we will explore a powerful concept in functional programming, passing functions as argument in Kotlin. So Kotlin treats functions as first-class citizens. This means we can use functions just like any other variable. We can store them, pass them as arguments, or return them from other functions. So let's dive straight into an example here. And here I am going to define a high order function that will take another function as a parameter. So here we are going to create a calculate function here, and it is going to take two parameters of an integer type, and here it is going to take a function as a parameter. So we will pass this function to integer type values, and it will return us the integer value. Okay, so this function is going to give us the result of an integer type here, and here we will call the passed in function. Okay, and here we are going to pass these two parameters, and I'm going to return the result of this function. Okay, so now we will define some named functions here that we will pass as an argument in this high order function. So let's create two functions here. First is going to be add function, and this function is going to take two parameters. Okay, so it is going to give us the result an integer type, and here I'm going to add these two parameters here. Okay, so it will sum these two parameters and give us the result in integer type. Okay, now let's create a subtract function here, and it will minus the value of y variable from x here. Okay. So let's now use the high order function here, and I'm going to use this function in main function here, and here I'm going to call this high order function, and I'm going to pass two arguments here, 10 and 5, and here I'm going to add this named function here. Okay, so here I'm going to add this add function as a parameter to this high order function, and this function is going to give us a result in integer value. So let's print that value as well. Now let's call this function again, where we will pass the subtract function as a parameter. So let's add the subtract function, and here I'm going to get the difference between these two values. So let's change the variable name to difference here, and here I'm going to print this result as well. Okay, now let's pass a lambda function directly in this function call. So here I'm going to create a variable which will store the result of this function call. Okay, and here I'm going to call this high order function, and I'm going to pass two arguments. Okay, and here I'm going to pass the lambda expression directly. So here we are going to multiply these two variables here. Okay, so let's print this result as well. Okay, so let me explain this code here. So here calculate is a high order function which take three arguments, two of integer type a and b, and a function operation that takes two integer values and return an integer value. Okay, so this allows us to pass any compatible function, giving flexibility in how the calculation is performed. So here, as you can see, we are providing the subtraction method as well, and also the addition method, and here we are also adding the lambda expression as well. So here we have defined two named functions here by name add and subtract, and we pass them to the calculator function using this operator here. And here this operator refers to a function by its name and passes it as an argument. So as you can see, I have passed this function as an argument using this operator. So here we have, instead of defining a named function like add or subtract, we passed a lambda expression directly to calculate for multiplication. So lambda makes the code concise and allow inline customization. So let's run this to see the result here. Okay, so as you can see, it has given us the expected output here. So let's see a real world use case here. So think of a sorting algorithm where you want to define custom sorting logic. You can pass a function or lambda to specify the comparison criteria dynamically. So this wraps up our tutorial on using functions as arguments in Kotlin. Experiment with this feature to unlock more flexibility in your Kotlin programs. So see you in the next video.